What is up, everyone? Good morning. Can you hear me? Let me know in chat. We're using the YouTube chat if you're one of my wolves. That's in my Discord. Good morning, y'all. Sweet. How's everyone doing this morning? Where's everyone joining me from? It's always interesting hearing when you guys are from. It's pretty amazing. You know, traders all over the world. And I work with you guys one-on-one. I have students, Asia, Africa, China. It's part of Asia. But it is pretty crazy hearing some of the time zones. Like you Hawaiians trade some pretty crazy time frames. Time zone, pretty crazy. Colorado, Estonia, Amsterdam, one of my favorite ever cities. Anytime I'm in Europe, I try to get over there. Slovenia, Canada, Georgia, the country, Puerto Rico. So crazy, guys. Anyways, welcome. We've only got about 25 minutes together this morning, so we're going to get right to it. Obviously, normally I'm doing these on Monday. Excuse me. Still feeling the remnants of being sick, man. My kids were sick all weekend. And I think I have a pretty good immune system, so I really don't care, I usually don't get sick from them. This weekend was not one of those times. They each got sick one by one. And then I woke up, first of all, Trump got freaking shot this weekend, right? That's the big news. In terms of the overall markets, because I was really interested to see what was going to happen. Okay, I was very interested to see what was going to happen. But in terms of overall markets, they, chopped around yesterday. A new high in the morning for Monday, gapped up a little bit, spiked a little bit. As of now, they're gapping up again. 56280. This is just SPY. All right, I generally will use SPY, right? The Qs as kind of my mark, right? My mark in terms of how the overall markets are doing. So here are the Qs. You saw SPY. We're up near all-time high still. There's no big panic. There was no big push from Trump getting shot. The one ticker I knew would move up, at least would move up pre-market was DJT, and it did. It did just that, okay? I woke up yesterday morning at 4 a.m. Eastern, right? 4 a.m. Eastern, because that's when pre-market opens. I woke up at 4 a.m. Eastern. I didn't get filled in the 35s and 36s, which was the last I was willing to chase at 3 a.m. my time in Dallas. Okay? I just didn't really want to chase much more than that. I went back to sleep for a few hours. When I woke up, it was in the 45s. Right? It was in the 45s, and I felt deathly sick yesterday morning. I can do these sick. I have no problem teaching and doing a little. Try not to trade if I'm sick, right? This game's so hard. This game is such a performance type game in terms of execution and being of sound mind to make sound decisions, that when I'm sick, I try to not trade, right? Why am I going to risk my money, my hard-earned money, if I'm not feeling it? It's one of the difference between, say, being an athlete. When you're an athlete, you still pretty much have to play through everything. For me, in this case, it's like I can choose to sit on the sidelines, and that's what I did yesterday. So I did let DJT shake yesterday. It did shake, right? Never got back to highs. Struggled with VWAP, which is understandable when it goes from 30 to 60 pre-market in 5 minutes. All right. I tried to chase a little bit. That's as far as I was willing to chase, was the 36s. I didn't get it. Less than 5 minutes. Look at the 1 minute candle. In 1 minute, 34 to 50 in 1 minute. So I have students. Know several students who got some in the 35s and 36s. So congrats to those students. If you have any questions, okay, holler on the YouTube chat. All right, holler on the YouTube chat. What are my plans with DJT? Nothing for now. I am going to keep eyes on it. Okay, I'm going to keep eyes on it. It's already gapping below yesterday's low, right? Of 38 or so, down to the 36s. So a bit of a dud for now. Maybe it can hold low 30s. Okay. But I've got no position on it. No real plans to trade it. My plan was to try to hit it pre-market, get a great average. And that was the only plan that I had for yesterday, especially once I got sick. It was a matter of just not doing anything. Okay. Any questions on that scenario? I mean, it got extended pre-market in my opinion, right? There'll be a lot of bags. It's not a great stock, y'all. It's not a great stock, and it has nothing to do with being a great stock, right? When you're day trading, it's not about great stocks. It's about volatility. That's what it's about, okay? Let's get into today's tickers. Let's get into what's relevant. Dude. Sorry, one sec. Is there a battery in this damn thing? Sorry, you guys. I think my mouse just died. Are you kidding me? Is that even possible? One second. It is possible. Works now. Hey, okay. I have a wired trading mouse too. I have too many mouses. I have too much shit. One day I'll do a YouTube like office tour, because I've been collecting trading gear for 10 years, y'all. I have more monitors than a fucking Best Buy in a closet somewhere here in my office. Okay. I've tried every monitor. I've tried everything. I've done everything. In terms of like what gear will make me better, I am a big believer in that. I don't, everyone's like, trade from your laptop. Sure. You won't see what I see and how much I can see when you need to see it. As big as you need to see it too, to get a clear picture of what's happening. You know what I'm trying to say? Now, you don't need the gear. Don't get me wrong. You can totally trade from a laptop, depending on your trading style and stuff. For my style, I like to have good real estate, okay? Here's SILO. It's our top percent gainer this morning. Let's get into our scan for those who have never seen my scan. This is scans, SCANZ, okay? I do have links for them, but I don't have discounts, and I don't like giving you guys links if there's no discount attached to it. So if you like it, you like it, okay? I'm not one of these cats who's on here just trying to take affiliate fees from peeps, Silo. Here's my scan. I don't filter for float. Most of you know that, because sometimes these floats aren't accurate. Like BDRX, I bet you it's not accurate, right? I'm pretty sure we know that it's not accurate. For those who are wondering what the colors are, greens are NASDAQ, orange Amex, orange Amex, yellow New York Stock Exchange tickers, okay? That's it. Percent change. You can't see the filters, but right now I'm only filtering by $50,000 in dollar volume. Okay, $50,000 in dollar volume, so I can see everything. Right? If I want to see what's very liquid, in other words, a lot of cash going through it, I can filter it down pretty easy. Let's say like $1 million going through a ticker, and let's say tickers that are up 5% will get me, generally speaking, what I need for my list. Look at this. These are the only tickers in the market that have traded 1 million shares. Okay, and that are up 5%. Why do I trade smaller cap tickers? Why? Well, it's a very math-based thing that I learned early on, okay? The whole fact that all of the trading industry right now, all over, right, are all moving to futures from basically Forex took over trading in the last few years. Not stocks, not options, but Forex traders and future traders. Why? Because they've been the best at social media, at bringing eyes in. And unfortunately, also the scammiest, because all they've done are pushed like random patterns on SPY, pretty much, like how to trade random shit on with Forex and futures. Just pretty much technical analysis, but the whole point of it is to push people into funded accounts, right? Funded accounts. So that's what's been happening across all of our markets, especially the Forex traders who are now all futures traders. I called this over a year ago, right? I called this over a year ago that all of these futures Forex traders would move to futures when all of the Forex prop firms closed, which they've all fucking closed to US traders. Why? Because they're Ponzi schemes, essentially. At least that's what they come off as, right? For the most part. Unsuccessful traders paying successful traders. All of them are basically paper traders. That's what's crazy, is that we have a whole generation of traders right now from the last few years. Young kids, old people, I don't care who you are, who have been hooked on this notion that they need more money to trade. You don't. You need to trade the right instrument when you don't have that much cash. That's all it comes down to. You need something that has volatility and that is inexpensive to trade. That's what got me into small cap in the first place. Trust me, these prop firms have been around forever. They've been like, and when I say prop firms, I'm not talking about like SMB Capital or places that have offices and you go in and they develop traders for real, right? And give them tools and access to institutional tools and all that shit. I'm talking about give us $50 a month and we'll give you a $100,000 account, and all it takes 2 days to pass this. That ain't it. Listen, if you guys had $1 million and you said, I'm going to find 5 traders to trade this for me, what would you do? Let me know in chat. Would it be a 2-day test to give them $1 million of your money? Would it be? Fuck no, it wouldn't. Hell no. I'd vet the shit out of them. I'd need to see their track record. I'd need to see a lot of things. Background checks. I don't care what it is. I would have to see it. Does that make sense? So it ain't it, right? And you don't need more capital to make money. That is just a pipe dream being sold to a bunch of people by a bunch of paper trading influencers. It's crazy, crazy, crazy. Sorry, I got sidetracked. I just get upset sometimes. You know what I mean? And I feel like they've taken the one good thing is that the technical analysis that's all they have. And to be fair, like Forex futures technical analysis is decent. It's not bad. My beef is that they renamed all of the basic support and resistance, right? Gaps, all of that stuff. They've got people renaming them, right? Complicating it. But the whole mission is just to get affiliate fees from funded prop firm account ideas, okay? So now we're seeing them, and I called this as well. They've all just my computer literally just shut down. It's an expensive ass computer too. It never does that. Rarely does that. Can y'all hear me again? Yay, nay? Am I alone? Let me know in chat, please. Sweet. Sorry about that. All right. Well, now I don't have time to talk about that. I'll rant about it next time I see you. Silo. 2.6 million in the float, allegedly. Global license for Alzheimer's. It's been very much for small cap right now, mid cap, biotech centric. The best catalysts have been biotech catalysts, right? This week, starting on yesterday and last week too, I'd say, right? So they do have a catalyst. Volume's good, 40 million. Have they ever done volume before? They've done volume here. They did 5 million. Okay, so this is the first thing I like to look at. These the volume profiles, right? Has it done big volume recently? What happens when volume comes in? Like on this day, I see they gap to 250. They spike to 3. They close at 230. Gap down, go back down to 195. On this day, 6 million, they gap up, small spike, they close near lows, right? And this is just going back. So this is like 2023, and 2022 was a terrible year. Fundamentally, things have changed quite a bit in the markets. Big fade from the 250s recently. They do have news, like I said, about a license for an Alzheimer's therapeutic. They did an offering in June. That's what this is all about. Okay, they did. In June, they mentioned that they submitted an FDA on June 4th. Okay, and this is what I talk about all the fucking time, you guys. And what you really, really have to understand if you want to do this for a living. There's so much money to be made here, y'all. Okay? If you really want to do this for a living, you have to understand that every ticker you trade, sub $10, is a pump and dump. And most of them are being pumped by multiple sources. Okay? Most of them are being pumped by multiple sources. The first being the company themselves. The company themselves, they're going to get the stock price up. They're going to do an offering at half price to an institutional investor. Okay? The price then comes back down. Usually it's half price they get, something like that. Okay? They do it. On the other side of that token, there are retail traders pumping it, right? There are chat rooms pumping it. There are pumpers with hundreds of thousands of people that they alert to on Twitter and on Discord now. And what happened with Atlas is they've set a precedent that they don't care if you pump. It's not illegal, apparently, right? To manipulate a stock. It just happened with Hello Kitty, okay? It happened with Hello Kitty on like GME and stuff like that. And now again with Chewy, CHWY, right? CHWY. CHWY. He pumped this. Anyways, they're all pump and dumps. That's what I'm trying to say. Understand that. That's the very first rule when you get like, oh, they got a license for, okay, yeah, it's a good sounding PR, but I can tell you SILO, and you guys can't see this because you can't see the screen itself, but that's fine. Like I said, on June 4th, they announced FDA news, right? On June 4th, they announced FDA news. And on June 5th, they did an $2 million at the market offering. Does that make sense, everyone? That's a smash the like if that makes sense to you, because that is the first thing you have to understand. If you don't understand that, there's no reason to talk about anything. There's no reason to trade this shit to the long side. There's no fucking reason. If you're coming in here for lottery tickets, good luck. You're going to lose all your money. And I hate to see that. And people just, I fucking hate that people even teach how to do this in the first place. I hate it. It's not like this is like people's hard-earned money, right? That they're trying to make changes in their life. So if you don't understand that, very first thing, you have no business placing trades, right? Understand that. If you understand that, okay, now you can figure out what the fucking game to play is. And it starts with fundamentals in small cap. It actually doesn't start with technical analysis. Does that make sense? The big picture here is a fundamental big picture. It's not a technical big picture. Please say yes if that makes sense to you in chat right now. I'm not going to talk anymore. I need like 50 yeses. I'm not going to talk anymore. The markets are going to open, and I'm going to keep talking about this. If we keep getting more yeses, smash the like, make sure you're subscribed, because no one teaches this, and it's the first thing you should be taught. If you don't understand this concept, don't trade, right? I really promise you this. I promise. And once you understand this, everything that I teach makes sense. Where I sell, how I sell, why I fucking hate breakouts. I hate them, man. I hate trading breakouts, y'all. They're the worst thing to trade, period, in small cap. People dog on me online when I say it, but it's just ignorance, and they trade breakouts successfully, and they teach how to trade breakouts successfully. Shut the fuck up. No, you don't. Okay? It pisses me off. Right? Anyways, So once you understand that, it's the companies, that's how they get money. That's how they survive. They are small cap companies because they have no money, right? So they play this game. What's the game? They have to get money from whom? Tell me in chat. Who do they have to get money from? How do these companies like SILO survive to see another day? SILO, CDT. Let's go through these tickers and understand this. The top percent gainers every single day for the last 10 fucking years of my life have been small cap companies, have been small cap tickers every day. That's why I day trade them, because it's the best mathematically to trade. There's the most volatility. I can make the most. There's the most range to make the most from the smallest amount of money, which means the smaller amount of risk. Okay? And then once you understand the fundamental game and you're playing chess, while all these fucking retail traders and these losers are playing checkers, that's when you develop a sense of process that's going to actually make you money to the long side in small cap, and why no one can, because they're just being led around by your impulses, right? Like Silo, perfect example, right? It's about to, markets are open. This thing's up from $1 to 254, 263, right? If this spikes through pre-market highs, for example, right here, 263, if it spikes through these levels, that used to be my buy, right? That was it, the breakout. Same with if this set a high a day. When I got a little bit more savvy, I would buy it down here at the high day break instead of the pre-market high break, okay? And I'm talking about 2016 here, all right, long time ago. That makes sense, right? Impulsively, instinctively, that makes sense. Guess who knows that? What do you need, okay? So let's play this game. All right, let's play this game. Silo's perfect. Let's look at Silo. In June, right? They did a PR about some FDA news, and they gapped up here to 230. Not a lot of volume, but they did. Then got destroyed the next day on an ATM offering, $2 million offering. This was just an ATM. Okay, that means at the market offering. That means they can sell these shares wherever they want, literally wherever they want. They closed that offering, which means they finished closing that on June 6th, the next day. And then they pumped to the next day, right? And then they pumped and pumped. And none of these subsequent pumps have worked until this morning's. This morning, they're running it, right? There we go. If I had shares to dump, yeah, I'd be dumping some pre-market. But I would certainly, if it gets to the 260s and I had $2 million worth of shares to dump, okay? This is how this game works. That's where I would dump it. $2 million at the market offering means they can sell new shares, poof, right? Poof, into thin air. You'll have to understand there's a share count. There's a limited amount of shares. Here's basic math. There's the float. It's the amount of shares that are actually tradable that aren't being held by insiders, okay? It's the actually amount of tradable shares of the company. That's going to determine where this ticker can move, right? The smaller the float, usually the faster these things are going to move. So if I have millions of shares to dump, and understand normally they'll give a price, like they'll have warrants. This is just an at the market offering. But in all the other cases, which we keep seeing and I keep warning you about, even like IVP did it. IVP had an S1 and they ended up squeezing because of it, because shorts also know this fundamental game too. Okay. Sorry, I got on a total tangent this morning about it. Just, especially on YouTube, for those of you who are with me on YouTube, my traders know this. Like my traders in my room, in my Discord, they know this. This is where we all trade from, this vantage point. There are nuances to it too. Okay, there are nuances to it. There are many different ways that they dump these shares, but understand that, right? The companies themselves are dumping on you. That's what this is for. They need what? They need what? Someone tell me in chat, if I have 2 million shares to dump today, what do I need? Hit the like, smash the like if you want me to keep going. I got to get to my people here in a second. And then I got to get to Going to take my kids to the All-Star game today. It's in Dallas. Liquidity, volume. Yes, thank you guys. Liquidity, volume. I need volume. Just like what? Today. Look, Silo. Most volume ever, right? 1 month ago, they did this. They dropped an ATM. They dropped in volume. Okay. Today, they've done 50 million shares, $100 million, 1/10 of $1 billion, y'all, has gone through Silo today. And they say that it's like not liquid. Penny stocks aren't liquid. This is more liquid than anything trading today. $100 million this morning. We're 5 minutes into the fucking trading day. Okay. 5 minutes into the trading day. They have $100 million have gone through this ticker. 100 million. 50 million in volume. 100 million in dollar volume. Does that make sense? So you tell me why a 2.6 million share float. You tell me this. Riddle me this shit, right? So let's see. 2.6, 1.6, right? 2.6, 1.6, 4.2, right? 5.9, whatever, 7, 8. Like 10 million shares this morning, whatever they're trading, okay? 10 million shares or whatever they're trading this morning. And they've traded in a 20-cent range. And the float's 2 million. And they've rotated float 5 times, apparently. Does that make sense? How? They're not rotating float. They're dumping shares. It just is what it is. So you mark my words, y'all. Mark my fucking words. The float says 2.6 million right now. Watch that. Go look at the float in a few weeks from now. Or maybe even next week and see what that, maybe tomorrow. And look what that number is. And then tell me I'm wrong. And I've done this for the last almost decade now. But from trading from this vantage point for the last 7 years. Okay? Does that make sense? LPA is a third day surge. Shit. Nice. Higher priced. Hey, smash the like if y'all are enjoying. I'm just here to teach y'all who don't get the game that I give my people. That. Okay? Just that. Yeah, third day surge here. Higher priced third day surge going on LPA. Recent big runner, one of these crazy monster things. A little bit out of my personal range there. But that's the idea. Okay, so from a big picture perspective, y'all, I don't like breakouts. Put yourself in the position of these companies that are a bit of the actual big money. People are like, follow the big money, follow the big. But they don't know what that means, you know. So when I learn that, I'm like, but what does that mean, right? That's a very abstract thing. Well, it's not in small cap, at least. It's not abstract. Overall markets, SPY, right? If you're trading SPY or NASDAQ or frickin' any of the future stuff, any of the big caps, okay? It's not the same players. It's not as simple. This is what I'm trying to say. Small cap is the best. It's the best from a mathematics standpoint. You don't need fucking funded bullshit, right? You don't. I started with 4K. That's it. Right now I started with 3K. I have a 3K account I'm growing. Especially now that there's no PDT, okay? That's like the big point. So, and I'm going to say this one more thing about the future shit and the Forex shit. Because they talk so much shit about stock trading. Oh, it takes too much money, or it's all a scam, and blah, 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 right? You should just get funded and trade futures. That's, you know, or like Forex. That's because they need you to get to a funded place or they don't make money, right? If you're not being pushed to a prop firm, those people don't make enough money trading to make money and live. Okay. It just is what it is. Anyways, if I needed to dump shares, that's what I would do. So here's the big game, right? We've got the companies themselves that need money. So they go to companies like HC Wainwright. Okay, they go to companies like HC Wainwright. Hold on one second. Right now they're getting a little reversal. So from that vantage point, how does my technical analysis work then? Okay, how does everything work for me? Well, there is PDT. Okay, sorry, let me finish this thought because someone's asking. There is PDT, but they have changed the settlement time on cash accounts to 1 day. So I can trade my whole cash account today, and I can use all my cash account tomorrow, and the next day, and I can place unlimited amount of trades a week now. As long as I'm learning under, as long as I'm trading under a cash account, right? There's still PDT. There's 100% still PDT if you have a margin account. That's why I suggest everyone just switch to a cash account for now. If you're really bothered by PDT, use a cash account. It'll actually keep you safe to a certain extent as well, right? Because you can only use a certain amount of cash every day, and then you're out of cash, right? But you can trade in an unlimited fashion under that cash, which is kind of cool. And then by the time you do pass PDT, it won't really be a thing. Does that make sense? You actually can trade more, technically speaking. Just without margin, which is fine. Margin's dangerous. There's no real need for it. Okay. So what does that do to my technical analysis? Well, first of all, I know an ATM. I don't know where they can dump. I know they can dump everywhere, though. Okay. I know they can dump everywhere. So the game for me then becomes, all right, let's look at these prominent levels of support and resistance that I think should hold or will hold. And the more dilutive, the more, if I'm going to be dip buying, it's going to be more of a reversion to mean kind of idea. Okay. In terms of like a bounce towards VWAP kind of idea. And here's what it takes. Once you realize that that's the game, you realize, oh shit, all my impulses are going to work against me in this game. Okay. All of them. They are. My impulse to buy when it crosses this level to the upside because it's going higher and it's a breakout, and this is what people teach you to do, will be big. My impulse to buy is going to be high if I suck and it crosses 235. Okay? Smash the like if those are where your impulses to buy still are. I call those Billy entries. I had to put a name to that person so that I make sure that my traders are not that person. It's Billy. It's everyone. It's me. It's everyone that starts. And it's a lot of people. They never get away from it, unfortunately, until they lose all their money and quit. Right? Right? If I had shares to dump, that's where I dump. That's where the liquidity comes. I guarantee it. That's where the shorts, because understand, we're not playing a game of just, and this is the other part of this equation that I'm trying to teach you today. We've got the company themselves that need cash. That's how they fund their next phase. That's how they, especially biotechs, are the worst at this. Think about it. You're a biotech, okay? Yeah, you can get some grants and some licensing deals and there are ways to get money, but their main source, if they're trading publicly, is us, you and I, is telling us that they have phase 2 news. So a bunch of investors get sucked in, but the big money, they've already cut a deal at half price with where they're going to give them shares tomorrow. That's the secondary offering. Right? Literally, you're being diluted. That's why the stock goes down. You're being diluted. Whenever you buy a stock, you become a certain percentage owner of that company, correct? That's what we're doing. We own that company, a percentage of it. We are buying shares of that company. We own a percentage of that company. That's why you can take over a company by buying enough stock, right? You can do that. So in that vein, right? In that vein, you're buying it. And then tomorrow they're saying, oh, but it's actually, there's a bunch more than what you bought it for. There are actually more shares. They dump new shares into market. So your ownership percentage of that company is much smaller, right? Imagine buying a pizza and then tomorrow they take half of it away. Or halfway through your meal, they come in and they take half of that pizza away. Say sorry. You're like, what? Anyways, so there's that. And then there's short sellers who are the opposite of long. They make money when it goes down. So they sell first, then they buy second, right? So my goal is to be in harmony with that. Okay? Because I also know that they're pumping. That's the beautiful part. When you understand, oh shit, it's one big scam. They're pumping, they're dumping. When they dump, that's why the stocks go down to small cap. And then they end up here. And this is super, super, super duper important, man. So this is super important. And then we're going to wrap up. All right. We got to wrap up because I got to get to my people. I'm just feeling some sort of way this morning. And then they end up here. I'm going to filter this with a top price of $1. Okay. And I'm taking off the volume so you can see all the small cap stocks. We're in the midst of one of the biggest bull markets in history. Okay. And they're going to run that bitch into the election. And here are all the tickers trading under $1 right now. Listed. 468. There are about 120 less right now, just to let you know, than there were a couple weeks ago. So that's a little concerning to me. 467. Normally we got about 560. So we've got about 100 less small cap tickers right now. And I think what we're going to see are the top range of these price is what we're seeing. Like these $1 stocks right here, 99 cents, 99 cents. If we go to these tickers, we're probably have been seeing a lot of these grinding up now. So I think I've not done this before. I'm just spitballing with you. Okay. How I look at the markets and how I'm always looking at small cap and overall, right? I'm always looking at this list. How many listed stocks are there under $1? It's been 600 and something. It's been about 600 all year. So there's been a drastic decline in them over the last 2 weeks. Super important. Okay. So that tells me, it tells me that they're moving on a slow level, on low volume. A lot of these are just moving with the markets now too. A lot of the small cap stocks. That being said, on the other end of the spectrum, we still have like 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12 cent stocks. These ones are being dumped on from a fundamental standpoint. This is a great example. Like if we go to these tickers, if we go to any of these tickers, okay, AGRI, for example, go to their daily chart, and I'm going to transition this for you so you can see. You'll see like gap ups like this, gap ups and spikes with volume and red. That's dumping, right? So some of these get really toxic and they're going to dump and dump and dump. Okay, until they don't, and then they'll rip them. So any small cap ticker can be really tradable at any given point. It's just a matter of, and this, I'm going to end with this. What part of the cycle are they in? Because once they get to 8 cents, the only option is what? Right? Because here's the big part of this, of small cap. Here's the other big. So we've got the pumping, the dumping, the short sellers, right? The long, the retail, the institutional investors. All right? The institutional investors. So now there's another part. There are also rules to stay listed on NASDAQ, okay? There are also rules to stay listed on NASDAQ. One of the main ones that we have to deal with, the main one rule that all of these companies are always breaking, these NASDAQ companies are always breaking, is the minimum bid rule of $1. They have to hold $1. If they get under $1 for a certain period of time, like ARGRI is, here's $1 right here. If they get under $1 for a certain period of time, they get a letter from NASDAQ saying, hey, you're not compliant. Okay, you're not compliant. From that point, they have to do something. Okay, they have to hold $1 for 10 days to regain compliance, is what it's called. Problem is that from a fundamental standpoint, most of them are screwed. Okay, and they don't really care because they have a tool called the reverse split, where they get to take every 10 shares, turn them into one. Their stock price is multiplied by 10. Their share count is divided by 10. And now you have a low float, higher priced, well, a $1, $2, $3, $4, $5 stock, still small cap because the market cap has not changed. Okay. Small cap just means small market cap, guys, if you don't know what that means. Okay. That's what it means. Market cap. Market cap, just the share count times the price of the stock. That's what the market cap is. All right. So that is what they do. So HCWAY is going to do it. Okay. They're going to do a reverse split. They're going to say, hey, we need, 100 to 1. They're going to change their share count. They're going to be trading at $8, right? Share count's low. Then they do the same, and then reverse split pump. And this is what you have to understand. All the strategies that I've created over time, everything that I love to trade is based off of these macro circumstances. That's the lesson for today. Okay. Everything I do in the markets, everything I do. And if you don't understand this, and if you didn't, well, you're welcome. Because this is a free game that you won't get anywhere else. Straight up. For those who do love what we do, for those who want 20, I think it's 20% off. Do we have it? Yeah, I think it is. Do we? Either way. There should be a QR code up here somewhere. Up there. That's just for the pack. I do pre-market prep every day. We live trade every single morning. I try to do power hour prep when we can. We do trader therapy. We do a lot of stuff. It's a different environment. It's just a different place that I've cultivated over the last decade, really, is how long it's taken. But it's different. Okay, it's different. Anyways, that's what I take into account, right? And because of that, I'm waiting for them to split. There's also bottom bouncers, okay? NASDAQ stocks also have to hold 10 cents. That's another rule, which is crazy, right? Well, but don't they have to hold $1? Duh. Yeah, but it's also 10 cents. Because they get to file extensions. Like, they have a long time to hold a buck. It's not like once they get under a buck, they have one day, right? They usually have 180 days, and then they can file an extension for another 180 days. All the while, all they're going to do is tell NASDAQ, because they have to submit a plan to NASDAQ, right? All they're going to do is say, hey, we're going to do a split, 100 for one, then we're going to pump and dump, and NASDAQ says, ha, 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 and they say, ha, 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 yeah, fuck retail, because that's what's happening, okay? There's that. Here's the tool that I use. Y'all want to see? Smash the like, and we'll do one more quick lesson. Deal? Yay, nay? And then I got to get to my people, like I said. My wolves. The way I trade, everything I trade, all my strategies revolve around these macro ideas. That's why I scoff at like just trading technical analysis to the long side. And why people are like, oh, it's a scam. It's a scam. It's fucking 100% a scam. But you're too lazy to understand the scam. That's your problem. I'm going to show you how real fast. Okay? Okay. Let me find a good one from recently. Maybe like MBio. Yeah, great example. Okay. Here's a penny stock, right? Bottom bouncer, heading towards, they held 10 cents, like a good boy. And then popped to $1.38 over 2 days, right? Granted, there was sympathy, like Fifi and a lot of other stuff had been running previously. So we've been seeing these bottom bouncers. This is what I call bottom bouncer, by the way. 10-cent stock. Let's get to our tools that I use. Okay, so say for example, we're here on MBIO and it's like a first green day, right? And I'm getting there at the end of the day. I got to see if I want to go overnight and all that good shit, and I got to do due diligence. Or they're just gapping up in the morning on huge volume like they were to 40 cents and they're up 200% pre-market, right? My process says go to this site right here. It's called dilutiontracker.com. Okay. Dilutiontracker.com. This is what I use. Been using it for a long time. All the short sellers, it pretty much comes with their shit now. Centerpoint, like all of these, they all use this. Everyone uses Dilution Tracker now. So I go in Dilution Tracker. I would click, what would I click? MBIO, for example, right? If MBIO is popping. They give you a risk right here. First of all, their float and outstanding shares are going to be usually more accurate than any of your scanners, okay? Usually. So this is where I get my float and share count, generally speaking. That's what I'm going to use. They'll have their market cap here, net cash, institutional ownership, and whatnot, okay? Short interest. As you can see, short interest, people always ask me about short interest. My issue with it is that, generally speaking, you can see like this. It's been updated. It was updated 6 days ago, okay? So generally speaking, you're dealing with a somewhat delayed number. It's not going to be exactly accurate. Here is the chart that I care about, all right? This is the share count on the bottom, the shares outstanding, the current historical shares outstanding. Here's the current outstanding, 34 million. If they dump all the shares that they have another 53 million in warrants, 5 million ATM. So 60 million shares. So they've got 60 million shares to dump and 34 outstanding, right? Or like 2x their actual share count and shares to dump, 60 million. I look at how many shares more so than the percentage of the float, generally speaking, only because these things trade a lot of volume these days. That's all. Overall risk, I'll look at that, right? Historical, they'll let you know if they like to do offerings. They'll let you know if they need cash, their overhead supply, if there's a lot of it, right? S1, they have an offering. It's priced at 24 cents on MBIO, okay? Warrants, 23 cents that they can exercise 16 million shares. Same, 16 million shares. This is April 24th, okay? So, and look, it's not that they can't go up. It's not that these things can't rip. That's the whole point. But just understand that the big game is that they are using this. They are using this, okay, to get rid of this. Please smash a like if that makes sense. They are using us to get rid of shares that these guys own at 23 cents. 16 million, 23 cents. Do you know how much money that is when it goes to 123? Someone tell me the fucking math on that, please. In chat right now. And smash the like if you're starting to understand bigger picture right now with me. That's what I'm here for. I know it says live trade bullshit, whatever. There's always another play. TKLF, bottom bouncing. But I am going to get back to my scan too and make sure everything's good. It's a lot of money, y'all. Anyways, that's the whole point. So if you think they're not dumping and pumping and dumping, that's what's happening. Okay? Here's another great point for those for those who are just joining me. So what does that bring me to? That brings me to plays like reverse split pump. Okay? That brings me to plays to like reverse split pump. There's been so many of them. It's one of my favorite strategies ever. Okay? Let's see if I can get to LGVN's reverse split pump. So here's an example, right? LGVN, right? They did a reverse split, a 1 for 10 on 327 here. Once they do a reverse split, that means and I know I'm rehashing some basic stuff, but a lot of basic noobs in here on YouTube. We've got over here a split. They did a 1 for 10 today or in March because this day they were trading sub $1 and needed to regain compliance with NASDAQ. Does that make sense? So on this day, they were not trading at $3.80. They were trading at 10x less, or divide that by 10, right? So they were trading at 38 cents, y'all. This was a 38-cent stock on 326, and on 327, they were a $3.50 stock. Does that make sense? Let me know in chat if that was something you didn't understand and now you understand. Hopefully you do. It's a reverse split. The market cap didn't change. Still exact same market cap, right? Now, from that point, For me, this is what I call the reverse split pump strategy. It's my favorite swing strategy. It's my favorite day trade strategy ever. Okay. They have a 10-day timer to hold $1. So what do you think they're going to do? What do you think they're going to do when they fade from $3.50 down towards $1? Tell me. Someone tell me. If they did a split and they've got 10 days and it's day 6, day 7, and they're fading down now sub 2, heading towards $1. Tell me in chat. This is the most important lesson you're ever going to fucking watch in your whole life for day trading long. I'm going to make it that. Screw it. Then I'm going to take my kids to the fucking all-star game because that's what this job is to me. The ability to do that. And I'm going to work with my students one-on-one from there. So if we have one-on-ones, we're going to rock them today. Sorry I was sick yesterday. Hopefully you guys got back on the schedule. PR. Thank you. PR. That's the answer. What do you think they're going to do here? They're going to PR. Okay? Here's that chart before so you can see. Ooh, and someone knew the day before, did they not? Right? So, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6, day 7. PR, okay? This is the only strategy. It's the only strategy that I've ever created and that I think exists in the markets where you can predict PRs with relative regularity. Period. Please smash the like if that makes sense to you from a macro after everything I've taught you this morning. Okay? This I discovered back in 17, 18. Let me know in chat, please. Hopefully for some of you, it's an aha moment. This is just to tie into you, to make you understand that I'm playing chess. And I've been playing chess in this market for a long time. And people make fun of me online for some of my ideas that I have. And I laugh at them because I know they're losers that don't understand even what they're trading in the first place. I spent 2 years specifically to understand what I was trading completely and nothing else. I looked through every fucking nook and cranny in small cap and every mentor and teacher and every book and everything that you could do. I did that to find how this shit works. And I'm still doing it to this day. And then I'm trying to give it out to y'all and save some of you the miles I had to run to get here. All right. The mental miles. Anyways, PR. Look at this candle. They gap up the next day. Huge volume, by the way, 50 million shares. This is the only, and I've been doing this for so long, right? And it's more of an art, less of a science. But as it fades, day 6, day 7, day 8, generally, and you'll see them put PRs out day 3, day 4, day 5. You know, it doesn't matter when. They're going to PR it. So understand this. Think outside the box. Don't be buying breakouts. Don't be Billy. Like, don't be an idiot. Okay? Don't be playing checkers with everyone else. If you're just trading these charts from a technical standpoint, and then specifically for trading strength from a technical standpoint, it's going to be very tough. It's going to be very tough. Why? Because of what I told you about. Okay? Here's my, and this is on crack, this example, okay? Reverse split fade. They put out a PR. They gap to 380. They do 50 million in volume that day. They spike to 550. I think I did this on pre-market prep. So maybe you guys can go back on YouTube and go to 4.8. I may have done this live on pre-market prep, and we may have gone through what I went through with them on pre-market prep, which was it was trading at 380, but they had an S1, which is an offering, right? Which is a pending offering that was unpriced. So what's an S1? It's an offering, but it was unpriced. Okay, let's look. We'll go look at what that is together. Watch this. This is amazing. Yes, you have. Don't lie. What do you mean you haven't indexed this sticker? Something's wrong here. Speaking of which, here's Silo. Not too bad at the moment yet. There we go. Let's find that S1. Here's the S1. Okay. So when this day, when they were gapping, I went over with my students. Hey, let's do what we always do, which I go here just to see what is their MO. They tell you. That's why it's not illegal. It's a pump, but it's not illegal because they tell you. And it's illegal. And they tell you. But they know you're not going to look because they know you're ignorant. That's what they rely on. Oh, looky. Placement agent, HC Wainwright. Okay. They are one of the biggest. This is who I was talking about. The underwriter, the placement agent, the institutional investor, the big money. That's this person. Okay. That's this person. You guys want to see who this person is? Let's look at this person, what they do. Let's look at this person, what they do. First of all, they've been around since 1868. Let that sink in. See that building? Tell me that that's not an institution. Feel me? Look at that building. It's sick, right? About us. They are the country's oldest and most trusted financial institutions. They are one of the, right? Our history. They're founded in 1868, right? In Boston, Massachusetts, located at the heart of the strongest financial center in post-Civil War America, all right? State Street in the same building as the Boston Stock Exchange. All right. Known from our inception as an honest, calculable, and reliable financial services firm. Blah, 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 blah. Services. Look at this. Sales and trading. HC Wainwright sales and trading team utilizes its expertise and cutting-edge technology, aka algorithms, and all the other shit they have, to deliver personalized attention and superior service with a focus on identifying buyers. Look at this, y'all. With a focus on identifying buyers and sellers in illiquid and difficult to trade equities. That's why we see them up in small cap, because that's what we are. Look at LGVN all of the rest of the year, outside of when HC Wainwright wants it to do something. Okay? Outside of when HC Wainwright wants LGVN to do something that does nothing. Understand that? Please let me know in chat right now and smash a like. If you're starting to put 2 and 2 together and you're not going to be playing checkers for the rest of your fucking trading career now. Okay? They don't do volume unless HC Wainwright wants them to do volume. Right? Look at this. Boom. Volume. Pump and dump. That's why they keep going down and down. And then they do a split. And then they do a pump and dump again. Okay? So, in other words, illiquid. Liquidity for a few days. Liquidity for a few days. And during that few days, what the fuck do you think they do, y'all? They dump their shares. Focus on and they are working for who? Someone let me know in the chat. Someone let me know who they work for. With a focus on identifying, yes, for the company. So they are in cahoots with them, right? To fuck you and I. And then on top of that, we have also short sellers who are also selling high, trying to sell high, buy low, who are also trying to fuck us. Now, not specifically fuck us, but use the fact that most of retail trading is stupid, right? And chases nonsense and acts impulsively on that nonsense to drive stocks up to the levels that they need to dump shares at. Okay? It's not just dumb longs. It's shorts. Shorts being squeezed are the ones. So that leads to all of my trading ideas come from that. The fact that, listen, if I have shares to dump and I know there's going to be limited liquidity, they don't just run algorithms that fuck retail longs. They fuck retail shorts, which are why you see massive squeezes, which are why you see reversals off dead stocks, off lows. That's why you're seeing first green day bounces turn into breakouts right now. That's why you're seeing third day surges right now break out massively. That's why we're seeing big intraday squeeze and still a lot of fade too. There's this push and pull, and this is why I don't trade breakouts, because if I'm HC Wainwright and I have shares to dump and I have an algorithm running, I'm going to dump them in a high a day. Period. And when that fails, I know shorts jump in there. So I leave it alone. Feel me? So that becomes my new game is, okay, how do I sell into all of these levels that they're selling? How? If HC Wainwright's selling at 2, I need to sell at 2. If they're selling at 250, I need to sell some at 250, and 3 of them I'm going to sell some at 3. And whatever these things do, I'm going to be in for 1, 2, 3 days max. Wham, bam. Thank you, ma'am. See ya. On to the next one. On to the next one. What's the next game? What's the next game? What's the next game? What's the next game? That's the game. Understood? Let me know in chat, please. It's not get hung up with FOMO and fucking hold bags and be a victim of this fucking scam, right? That's what you are. You're losing. You're holding bags. You're a victim. But it's on you, right? It's like someone called to scam you. You know it's a scam, you know? They're like, sir, I'm from your bank. I need your social security. And you're like, are you a scammer? And they're like, yeah. But can I have it anyway? And you're like, sure. That's literally what your trading's like if you don't understand this game, okay? If you do understand it, it's like, no. And it's a legal thing that you can follow. So let's look real fast. Let's continue. With a focus on identifying buyers and sellers in illiquid and difficult to trade equities. Our sales team specializes in block trading and providing liquidity in these securities with as little market impact as possible. In other words, that is the answer to how a stock with a 2 million share float can do 100 million shares in 10 minutes in the morning and trade in a 20-cent range. Let me know if that makes sense, please, in chat. Let me know. We place a high value on delivering industry-leading insights and real-time execution. The bedrock of our sales and trading team lies in its trusted relationships with clients, aka the tickers, and understanding their methodology and objectives, which is what they need money. They need to get their stock price up, and they need to dump shares into market. Their sales and trading team utilizes its expertise in cutting-edge technology to deliver personalized and attention service. Call them. Speak with them. Maybe your company can use them. I hope that makes sense to you guys. Like all the other shit I hear about algorithms and all that good stuff, like in the market algo, like there's one algo or something. There's not. No. This, yes. Quantified, volume, liquidity, actually real, actually tangible. And they tell you it's actually happening. It's not like some cuckoo on YouTube talking about some shit some big banking shit like, like they know what's going on because they fucking don't. But this is actually happening. They tell you, we know who it is and how they do it and where they do it and when. That gives you edge to the long side. I don't think short sellers used to use it as edge. I don't find it. And I think they can use it if they know how to use the information correctly. But it's not just short the warrant levels, right? Can all this amazing information be used for short strategies? It seems no. Yes, totally. But just be careful with it. Every short's looking at it. So from an edge perspective, it's going to be on just that. What's your perspective? How are you looking at it? Feel me? Okay. So sorry, I've gotten on a big tangent today, but it just is what it is. Here's LGVN. Okay, here's LGVN like we talked about. And let's go back really quick so you can see. Let's go back to this day where we had the reverse split pump. Okay, reverse split. Here's the pump. And this is all condensed. I'm showing you every part of the life cycle of a small cap stock that's tradable right now, right? For free. Smash the like, subscribe. Real quick, if you're one of my wolves in Discord and you've been wondering about Lake Tahoe and you've been waiting for our retreat stuff, after the webinar today, I think right around noon today, Eastern, we'll be launching registration for the Wolfpack retreat. All right. It'll be end of August. We're going to run it. It's going to be 3 nights, 4 days in Lake Tahoe at a crazy ass mansion. So it's going to be fucking awesome, man. Definitely not going to want to miss out. I'm going to be renting another separate small house up the street from that one to house a bunch of millionaire traders. So it's not just going to be me and not just our successful students that are coming, but also a couple guest speakers and some other people that you can pick their minds and hopefully be able to walk out of that event brand new trader. That's the idea. Like, it's going to be sick. Anyways, So that's what's going on, because we're not going to rock a separate webinar. We're just running this webby as is today here. Okay. And then when this is done, I got to go, dude. So just to get back to earlier thoughts, like got super sick yesterday, kind of a 24-hour gig, but all my kids prior to that were sick. And now hopefully my son, because my younger son, he really wants to go to this All-Star game today. He loves baseball now. And, which is a good lesson, by the way, for my parents out there. I know this is kind of rando, but my younger son was addicted to fucking Super Mario Bash Bros, like a bunch of video games on the Switch and stuff, like a terrorist, dude. Like, you take it away, he's gonna kill you and get violent. And we switch it to he can only watch sports on YouTube and he can only play like the show and FIFA, and it only took a few weeks, and now he just loves sports. So for those who are wondering how to get their kid to like sports and stuff, well, you gotta, I guess, force it upon them. But I'd rather he does that than be a little fucking crackhead when he grows up, which is what that was gonna turn into, I can tell. You know what I mean? When you watch it, it's like, oh, wait till he tries crack. He better never try crack. I've never tried crack. I've tried a lot of things, never crack. All right, anyways. All right. Yeah, we also have a free pack. You know, listen, my goal has always been to make things affordable, right? I think that my information is worth more than everybody's information. Don't get me wrong. I think it is. I think my information for what I do, I don't think there's anything better in the market, period. End of story. But I try to price it like it's not. I try to price it so that you get to keep more in your trading account at the end of the day, you know? And so I can reach more of you, hopefully, at the end of the day. So pretty much my program where what I charge for my monthly is what most people would charge literally for a watch list or something. And my watch list daily is free. You know what I mean? So pretty much my free chat and my free program is what people charge for their basic program. And my most advanced mentorship is what people charge for their cheapest mentorship, or for, their cheapest mentorship. So that's what I do. I try to keep it kind of a no-brainer, you know, live trading every single fucking day, above and beyond the resources that we give our students, above and beyond. Okay. What's up, dude? 98? All right. He's just having a growing pain right now, but he's fine. Okay, so we'll look at some tickets together when I'm done with this webinar. All right, buddy. All right, so my son's 98, so he gets to go to the All-Star game. So right after this, I'll be getting some All-Star tickets, and I got 4 kids here. My youngest baby's still sick, the girl. I got 4 kids, for those who don't know. My wife teaches bar and dance class on Tuesday mornings at this gym, so I'm like a single dad of 4 this morning, pretty much. That's not true. I'm gonna drop the daughters off with her when we're done. And most students profitable? There's no such fucking thing. There's no such thing. I've never seen a community where most students are profitable. In terms of the sheer number of successful traders that have come out of the chat, we booked the trend a long time ago. I mean, Jack Kellogg, Huddy, Dom, all came from that room first before they spread out, and you know, and then obviously Tim takes credit for everything, but certainly I spent a lot of time with, I mean, Huddy, I lived with me, Jack, I spent a lot of time helping, Dom, a lot of time helping, and yeah, we've got War Eagle Trader, who's freaking doing crazy things this year, I think. 8 figures this fucking year, right? Sarag, amazing 7-figure, a lot of 7-figure, 8-figure traders that you've never even heard of. Mostly 7, but I'm not braggadocious. And here's my whole deal. All my career as a mentor, I've been low key, and I've never felt that, just from my experience, how much work I had to do, you know, and how much I learned, not from the mentors that took credit for me at the end of the day, how much work I had to do. I always give credit to where credit's due. If I learn something from someone, I always cite that source. Most people don't, right? Like a lot of people steal my shit, teach it, pretend like it's their own shit, you know, and like will never give credit, which is fine. And the thing with students was the same. Like Jack and those guys, I wasn't like, look at my millionaire student when he crossed 1 million, even though I had been teaching him forever personally, you know, and mentoring him for a long time. So it is what it is. I'm trying to be more vocal to let people know that there's a place with a lot of amazing traders, like, and right now I'm working on another round of those people. You know, we've got up and coming 6 and 7 figure students right now. Hello. Oh, this is what it's all about, y'all. This is what it's all about. Say hello, YouTubers. She just woke up. This is the best part of my job, y'all. You know, I was going to be a lawyer. I told my wife that, how lucky she is. Never see me. Ducks, I love ducks. Do I know Steven? I grew up with Steven. Literally, me and Steven were basically started at the same time and rose at, like, both hit profitability at the same exact time. Yep. And then he went beast mode short selling, like ultra Chinese short seller guy. He's one of my favorite traders. I love ducks personally. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of ducks. I don't find it to be the most replicable for new traders. I don't. Very data centric, very complicated, very few trades, you know, and just very complicated. I have a lot of students who have traded with Steven and had just struggled with it, you know, and that's all. But I'm a huge fan, huge. I'll tell you who I'm a big fan of him. I'm a big fan of my buddies Huddy, and I'm a big fan of Jack. Kyle is one of my favorite traders out there for sure. Those guys, granted, I mentored a lot of those guys and stuff like that. You know, they became contemporaries, and that was always my goal, was not to like reign over a bunch of students like some lord, but more so to create a bunch of contemporaries, and maybe that's why, you know, they just like don't give me credit or something. I don't know, because I'm a homie at the end of the day. I'm trying to create friends in this industry, you know, and fellow millionaire traders, and help people change their lives as opposed to everything else out there. Okay. Sorry, I'm just answering questions if I can. What bankroll do you need to start trading? None. You can technically start learning in paper trading at first, and you can start trading these strategy ideas with $1,000 in a cash account. $500 in a cash account. You can start to exercise, okay? Because I also teach sizing. I also teach the other side of trading, which has nothing to do with patterns. It's all capital management. It's all being actually a good gambler, believe it or not. A lot of lessons I learned from the casino, and capital management and bankroll management are just as important, if not more important, than the patterns, you guys. Believe it or not. Especially once you understand the macro, right? Everyone's teaching you guys patterns because that's what because they're feeding what you think you need. The patterns, they come and go, and you'll learn them, and it's not that difficult, right? This is the big picture stuff. But the bankroll management, how to put size, when to put size, right? How to grow, all that good stuff. That's the game, right? That's the big game. How do you prevent drawdowns? Big drawdowns. How do you stop the big drawdown in its tracks? Stuff like that. And we a heavy dose of psychology. But the main thing with psychology that I always talk about is that if you're trading breakouts, look at this. Like, here's a multi-breakout level on this day on LGVN, right? After they did this pump and dump, okay? After the pump and dump. Failed breakout, now it's down at 3. Every failed breakout, right, is a top, as a potential top. But if you're trading here, do you know what's going on? Short sellers are being squeezed, shares are being dumped, longs are buying, and this happens on a daily chart, and this is happening I don't know, silo today, probably not, but right? This is happening here and here and here. You're having, maybe not so many shares being dumped on this one, but VRPX is moving again. This was a recent kind of low volume and then big volume move here. Multi-day bottom bouncer type idea, right? Multi-day move, first green day. First green day today. So understand, listen. There's a game within the game and there's this gray area that if you don't understand, and that means what's happening with the big picture, okay? Who's dumping? Where are they dumping? How do I fit into this equation? How do I not get dumped on? That is, at the end of the day, the big picture, right? All of these tickers, it doesn't matter what. And once you look at it like that, you're like, oh shit, okay, so I need to see when they do volume. That's why you look when they do volume. What do they do? That's why I got to look for splits on the daily chart, right? I'm looking to see if this ticker is in a fundamental spot to be pumped correctly right now. And then I have to take the markets into account, right? Do we have big runners? Are people chasing? Are people being squeezed? Right? That's just one aspect. And that's, but it's a huge, huge aspect of my trading is the macro first. Do I personally know Lucas? Yes, I do. The short bear. Yeah, I do. I personally know everyone in the stock trading industry. I've been in it and not to brag, but like have influenced probably most of the people that you know in the industry in one way or another, which is kind of crazy at this point, but I'm also the worst marketer of any trader out there. So, generally speaking, people get to me last and it's the last place they need to get to, right? That's the main comment I always get as a mentor is like, God, I wish I would have found you 2 years ago or 3 years ago, or when I first started, or before I paid this person or that person shite loads of money. That's like the main, it's the main one. If you're one of my people like that, say what's up. Say this is true. Because guess what? At a certain point, you know all the patterns, you know all the breakout shit everyone teaches, you know all of the technical analysis, you know all of that shit. So why aren't you making money, right? And that's the question, okay? And I get it. If you pay someone money, it's like, okay, I paid them, I need to stay here and make, you said, no. Multiple mentors was always the deal for me. I don't care who I paid or who I had to go to. Once I realized the game, I needed to find someone that I vibed with and then go learn from them. For me, it happened to be specifically Tim Grattani was like the juice. So I wanted to know more. And so I paid to know more at the end of the day. You know what I mean? But don't feel stuck. If you feel stuck, don't. I'm convinced that most of the mentors out here want you to feel stuck, and then they blame the fact that trading's hard for you being stuck, right? And it's like 2 years later and you're still spinning in circles. That's what they want, because then you get to pay another year subscription. You know what I'm trying to say? As opposed to like a good teacher will help you and then hopefully you can fuck off and go trade on your own. That's my goal. This is what I tell my people all the time. It's like my goal is to not have you not pay me and go make money. If I can do that in a month and you can go do that, then great. If I can do that in 2 months, then great. If you want to stay with me and be my homie and be in the chat and help others forever, then sweet, right? So at the end of the day, I don't care who you paid and what you've done, as long as you've been in the game trading. Maybe you've been trading the wrong things and the wrong ideas. It's not all, it's until you quit. It's not all for naught, right? It wasn't in vain. And sometimes you just need a new perspective. And then the same things that you've learned start to mean something. Does that make sense? Smash a like if it makes sense. That's the whole thing. And if you've been in this game for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, you might just be around the corner. You know, it might just be literally right around the corner is that day for you where you push on. Okay? Where you push on. And then you have out of nowhere, you're 50,000 in the account, 100,000 in the account, 1 million in the account, right? Because that's what it is. That's what it is. It's a snowball effect. It's not like all in one. The people who have a meteoric rise immediately always have a meteoric fall. You know, they fall like a rock too. So that's that. Any other questions? I'll take questions for a few minutes, and then I'm gonna get my kids some breakfast, go make them all for breakfast, take temperatures, give medicine to the ones that are still sick, and then book tickets for the All-Star game, and then drop kids off with wife and take other kids to Baseball Village, blah, 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 blah. Anyone in Dallas? Come say what's up. I'm going to go down to Baseball Village today, like noonish. Let me know. If you're one of my wolves and you're in Dallas, DM me. If you have my number, my student line, text me. What mentor has a fucking student line? None of them. Promise you that. They don't want to be fucking bothered by you. Promise. I love being bothered by you. I look at over 1,000 charts a week that aren't my own trades. I look at 1,000 trades from other traders every week right now. That's been the average. 1,000. And it's something I never wanted to do early on. I thought it was too much work, and it is too much work. And I love it, man. I love going through your trades, and I love trying to help people individually, because I realize as a coach, that's what it's about. It's about coaching, right? Everyone's individual. So like, yes, I can put out a video that will hopefully help a lot of people, but it's nothing like when I can get into your trades and get into your psyche and then try to put myself in your shoes during that part of my thing and figure out what's going to work for you individually. So, okay. MIC, I like them. I couldn't imagine running a short selling room though, where every fucking time there's like a HKD or a FFIE, your whole room is losing their accounts and subscriptions. I bet you that's what happens. I'm sure every time that there's a massive squeezer, they probably lose like 100 students. You know what I mean? I bet. Because they, like with short sellers, especially, like, here's the thing. Even if I have students who try to mimic my trades or something like that, the most that they can lose is like it'll go to zero, which I always tell them not to, period. Right? It will not help you to copy trades, by the way. Ever, never, ever, ever. They don't help. Never does it help. Right? Anyways. Any plans for Europe boot camp? Yes, next year. 2025, we're going to be in Europe. 100%. We're going to actually do a small Europe tour. And I'm going to bring out some buddies of mine to come with me. I went British for a second. It happens, man. I got a lot of accents that come out. I do a freaking Wicked Ducks impression. Let's box Mamba. Yeah, he's good at social media. I'd beat the shit out of him. Just like all, in my humble opinion. I would love to box him. Yes. I'd love to box. I'd love to do like a charity. We should. Not just him, like all the traders, they should do a one charity match. Get Tim in there. Tim versus Ross Cameron. My money would be on Tim, to be honest, in that one. Tim versus Ross Cameron. I would take anyone. There's no one in the industry who, especially if we could kickbox. I'd rather kickbox personally. Now, if it was full MMA, I haven't done my jiu-jitsu yet, so that's not the game for me. I would have to tag in a student. I have plenty of students I can tag in. Tag in Carlos or something like that. And one of my 6-figure students who's also a jiu-jitsu instructor. But Sykes versus Wolf. Yes, I would do that. For charity, I would definitely 100% box Tim Sykes. It'd be very fun. I owe him. He slapped me with $10,000 once. So I still owe him. I would very much like to box Tim. For charity. Thomas, I am so sorry, my friend. And Thomas's future in-laws, I am also very sorry. I forget that sometimes. I've been, I don't know why I'm mad this morning. I try not to cuss that much, you know? But, I don't know. I was kind of mad this morning, I guess. Yeah, Tim slapped me with 10K. And then he said it was like, he knighted me. I'm like, no, you just challenged me to a duel, mother trucker. See? You're welcome, Thomas. There you go. I used to watch lessons, like Tim's lessons back in 2016. And same thing. At that point I had 2 kids. So I had my first son and my first daughter, and they were 3 and 1. And yeah, he cussed too much. So I had to listen to him by myself. And so I try to think about that. What about me versus Jay Trader? Yeah, he wouldn't pass the doping test. Yeah, I'd box him. I don't care how big he is. Boxing's not boxing and fighting. They're not about just size and muscles, especially. He'd be too slow, probably. I don't know how tall he is. I'd take it. I have no problem. I wouldn't be afraid. But that way. Again, especially kickboxing. If I could kickbox, there's not too many people that could probably hang with me trader-wise. I'm a 2nd degree black belt in Taekwondo, for those who don't know. Now, I haven't practiced for a little while, but I am. All right. And then a lifelong boxing fan of the sweet science of boxing. I've watched every pay-per-view boxing match with my dad until he passed this year, since I was a baby. So for 38 years, almost every single... Bowen would be light work. Bowen would have no shot. He'd be very easy. Yeah. This is a dumb conversation. It'll never happen. I would love for it to. Just boxing. Just for fun. What about a game of skate? I would beat most. Maybe Ricky Analog would take me, but I also am a good skateboarder. Once upon a time, I was good at skateboarding. This conversation has gotten far, far away from trading somehow, y'all, into just like fighting and skateboarding for some reason. So I think that means that we're about done. Unless you guys want to keep going, keep bullshitting about nothing right now. Like, who could I fight? And fuck. Yeah, I would beat most of the asses in the trading industry, in my opinion, with relative ease too. Let's just leave it at that. Someone could come at me. I would love that for fun. But I play for keeps. I play for keeps. You know what I fucking hate is celebrity boxing. It's my least favorite thing ever fucking done to boxing ever. They destroyed the sport of boxing. I fucking hate Logan Paul. I fucking hate Jake Paul. Sorry, excuse my French. God, I hate them. It's one of my favorite sports ever to watch. I watch, like I said, every pay-per-view of my dad back in the day. Julio Cesar Chavez. You know, like, dude, like all the greats. But I grew up on that sport, man. And it's been destroyed by Floyd Mayweather when he left and when he was here. I think he kind of destroyed a lot of it. And then especially now with like Jake Paul and celebrity boxing, they've taken the sport and turned it into a fucking mockery. That's my opinion about boxing. So yeah. Okay. I gotta go. I'm gonna go get my kids some breakfast. All right, boo boo. I can hear my daughter. She can't get in. My little one. Sorry, I did a lot of ranting this morning, but I had a lot of stuff to say. I think it's really important that you understand the macro stuff behind what we're trading. If you don't understand this, you got no chance here, kid. You got no chance. You got no chance here, kid, in small cap at least. Big cap's different, right? Overall markets. Can you guys hear my daughter banging on the door? Hold on, love. Oh, she got it. You know, big cap's different. Overall markets, earnings. But from what I heard here, the strategies work pretty much the same up there too. So it may just be this whole contrarian thing just works across all markets because it does. And it has throughout history. So it's not new what I teach, right? But specifically in small cap, no one's teaching it. Like the actual way these things move and why you need to only be trading certain patterns and you need to ignore other patterns. So that's all. I got to go. I got to roll. I love you all. Thank you so much for joining me. Definitely smash the like if you enjoyed. Make sure you're subscribed. We're going to start dropping, and I keep saying it, but we actually have an editing team now that's going to help me get a bunch of videos to y'all. So I'm going to keep dropping the heat. Scan the QR code up in the corner if you want to join the pack for 20% off. I think there's 20 spots or something at 20% off is what we run during pre-market, during the pre-market preps. And that's that. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Stay safe. I love you all. I'll catch you, some of you in a week for pre-market prep. The rest of you, I'll catch you in chat throughout the rest of the week. All right. Yeah. You can see quickly. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Someone wanted to see the chat real fast. That's fine. It's basic. We got a basic chat. It's on Discord, right? All my basic information, people's losses, people's wins. We try to kind of keep everyone, you know, a place to find some help if you need some help, right? We have forums here that talk about different strategies and all that good stuff. What we want really is a community of people, right? Our watch list every single morning. I actually do watch lists every single afternoon for my people because I do pre-market prep every morning. So every single afternoon, they're going to get a watch list, including, some of this fundamental stuff like on DJT, IVP. We'll talk about whatever ran that day. She's hungry. I'm sorry. Well, 1 second, boo-boo. So that's every afternoon. It's also a free watch list. We do have a free chat. I'm not sure how to get in there, but maybe Tanner, you can drop a link for those who can't afford. It's a much more quiet chat, but we will drop the watch list for you guys as well, and some free videos once in a while. So that's the idea. Watch list every single day. We jump on here for pre-market prep, right? We do voice lounge. We do a bunch of stuff every single week. So anyways, thank you guys so much for joining me. Love you all. QR code in the top corner if you want to join. Catch you guys in a week. Stay safe. Peace.